Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts. And so this is Crypto Corner Sat Stacker for Saturday, August 9th. Going to be going over the usual tickers so far. Right now, the list is 20 tickers strong, and 19 of them I do hold. So you'll be going over those. And this week's video, I did not add a meme to the list here because we've kind of moved out of the bearish on Ethereum territory. And to me, that really kind of marked the bottom. That is when I started doing these videos just after ETHster. When I put out this video on 420, link in the description of this video if you'd like to check it out, where I basically went over this thesis where I thought Ethereum could be hitting a bottom around 1400 based on these two green trend lines having faked out investors breaking below this yellow trend line, coming down to here, confluence of levels, and now I think that Ethereum could be going up to around $8,000 by the end of the year based on this red trend line going back to, if I get Ed to step out of the way for a second, the highs from the end of 2017 and, intersecting with the highs from 2021. I think that it could easily be bringing us to 8,000. That's kind of really the basis of these Crypto Corner Sat Stackers that, I thought that Ethereum had found a bottom, and then all of these bearish memes, all of this bearish sentiment, trying to laugh at it, having fun with it. So I think there's just a lot of opportunities still in this space. So I'm excited about that. And if you do want a more in-depth breakdown of my thesis, I do go over it, and I will include a link to that most recent Crypto Corner Sat Stacker where I did kind of dive into the details. But I just don't want to spend too much time on that because I just do it every single Saturday because I do these Crypto Corner Sat Stackers every single Saturday, and it will be for the rest of 2025, so make sure you tune into them. Kind of the theme for this video is really just the quote from Tom Lee that I believe I have on the thumbnail and also in the title, but that is really just him talking about Ethereum having its 2017 moment, or, like Bitcoin had its moment in 2017 where it went from $1,000 to now, I believe it's 116, 117, but we will look at the chart in just a minute. And so I kind of wanted to get a little bit of a comparison of what Bitcoin did in 2017 versus what Ethereum's doing now, because maybe 8,000 is a pretty mild target for this year. I suspect Ethereum will go way higher than 8,000, if we add, a couple cycles to it, just like Bitcoin went from 1,000 to 1,1400, 114,000, so that's 100x right there. I think Ethereum could be doing, maybe, something similar. So yeah, I'll get into that. And I will also include a link to this post from Tom Lee. He is the chairman, I believe, the head guy for Bitmine Immersion Technologies, which is now an Ethereum Treasuries company. And the ticker there is BMNR. So you can learn more about that by checking out this Bankless podcast. I watched it a few days ago. I think it's really great. So yeah, I will encourage you to do that if you're interested. But then just coming back to this, let's now move over to the table. I'm just going to be populating this as I do every week with market cap and price, and then just looking at the charts of each ticker, kind of giving my analysis on where I think some dip buy levels might be, or where some maybe take profit or trim levels might be, really just kind of depending on your time frame. For me, I'm trying to stick in all of these for at least the end of the year, but I will be trimming as levels do get hit, and I will be buying some dips, as I did buy some dips over the past week. And if I do get Ed to step out of the way for just a second, we could see that we did have some of these move around. Trump and Link did move up in the ranking, whereas Pepe and Aave moved down. Just because I did buy some Trump and Link on dips. My level for Pepe, I believe, was hit, but my order was not hit, so I did not buy any more of that. Aave did not get any more, so those two both came down relative to Trump and Chainlink moving up. And then, I've just been doing the normal daily DCAs for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Nothing too exciting with those, but, I do think that the strategy that I've had with them has turned out pretty well. I think this is going to be my best week for ETH so far, which is, really not too surprising considering where it's at in price. And then I did also, add to my Loopring position. But other than that, didn't do any dip buys, or actually I did do one actually just before starting to record this video. I decided to buy some Pudgy penguins because my limit dip buy was not going to get filled for this week, and it's my smallest on the list here. So I decided to just do a market order, and I'm probably going to be doing $1 DCA. Daily DCA for PENGU just to build up that position. Whereas Fartcoin, I don't hold any of it. That's the one that is not on my holding list, but it's one that I think is good to be paying attention to. And there's some levels that I think are kind of important that I will go over, but at the end of the video, since it is at the bottom of the list. But yeah, let's get on with the tickers. And of course, beginning with Bitcoin, ticker symbol, as we all know, BTC. Let's check out what the current market cap is for Bitcoin. So just going over to coin market cap, Bitcoin is the number one coin on the list, as I'm sure it will always be. And let's just copy that market cap number and paste it over here to divide by 1 million. And so we can see that, Bitcoin does have a $1.3 trillion market cap, and comparing with last week when it had a 1.2, almost 5 trillion market cap. So it did go up quite a bit there. And, but I do think that percentage-wise, there have been some other ones that have performed a little bit better over the past weeks. We will look at those. But then let's check out Bitcoin's price. And so I just usually do the Friday close because it's Saturday and I just want to have the same time every single week. And so for Friday, August 8th, Bitcoin closed at a price of 116,683.79. So 116,673.89. I probably got that wrong. 683, and is that 79? Is that 79? The number's too big here. Yes, I got the 8 and the 7 mixed up. My bad. But yeah, so we can see there with Bitcoin that it's, as of yesterday, was at 116.6, and it looks like based on my average, which is between $92,000 and $93,000, looks like I'm up about 26%, and that is really just based on $40 daily dip buys. And let's see. I think let's look at the chart. I think that's what we want to do next. And so actually, and just to kind of think about the levels that I had up here, I had let's see, 111 as the ad level, and then the trim level at 135. So we haven't hit either of those. And also, what's next Friday? That's going to be the 16th, I believe. So I'm just going to make sure that I adjust that. I'm just going to check the calendar in case I'm wrong. Yeah, next Saturday is, adding 7 and 9. It's a difficult thing. But yeah, let's check out the chart. That's where we want to go to just kind of evaluate, these levels. So let's first look at the low. What was Bitcoin's low over the past week? It looks like it would have been on either Saturday or Sunday. Actually, the low was 111,903.68. Big number. I'm still waking up, sorry. So yeah, I was like $900 off from that dip buy level. No big deal. I think that's fine. And yeah, excuse me, what was that level based on? Probably this Fibonacci retracement, which I think is still going to be, yep, so that's just going from the low that was hit on June 22nd up to the high that was hit over here on July 14th. And so that 382 is right around 114, a little bit lower than 114, also corresponding with this orange trend line. And so, oh man, yeah, I mean, 111 was not hit. That's fine. I don't know that I'm actually going to add more than the 20. I might just leave that alone because maybe if we do go down to 111, maybe I, will want to add more aggressively if it does go lower than that, if it does break lower than that. But if it doesn't, I think that's fine. I don't think I need to be especially more aggressive with Bitcoin. But then thinking about levels to the upside, I have 135 marked here. And so that, let's see, I just need to, sorry about all this, just need to adjust the axis. And so that is going to be based on this Fibonacci extension. That's the 100%. So the distance from here to here, but going from the low. Actually, is that going from the low or is that going from the, that's going from the 50% right here. So that's around 110,786. So that's why I have 111. If in case, since this did break below the 382, maybe this gets down to the 50% retracement here. So yep, that's why there's 111 there. And let's see. Yep, this is the measurement, from here, from that low to that high. Just take that from here, brings us up to 135. So those levels, I'm going to leave the same. I don't think I need to change them at all. So yeah, I mean, all of these are good. And I'm not going to add to the $20 dip here. We're doing $20 every week. I'll just leave it, at 111. I think that is fine. And so now let's go on to the next one on the list, which is going to be Ethereum, kind of the coin of them all, for this spreadsheet, my thesis. It's the one that rules them all, guides them. And so that is Ethereum, ticker symbol ETH. And yeah, let's check out the market cap for Ethereum, which I believe is going to be green from last week. It's about $500 billion. Let's see if that copied correctly. Yep, okay. And so that is up from last week. Let's just see what it was last week. Just shy of $420 billion. Now we're over $500 billion. So that's looking good there for Ethereum. And then if we do go over to the chart here, we can see what the closing price was for Friday, August 8th. That was at $4,011. So that's going to be an easy one for me to write there. And yep, this is my best week so far with Ethereum, currently up 72%, and that is with daily dollar cost averaging. And so that's just been a really nice strategy that's worked for me. I'm happy about that. And let's see, I did have a dip buy placed at 3,200, just $7 that did not get filled. And I'm doing the normal daily DCAs of 3,625. And just to show you guys, why I am doing $36.25. So I'm doing that through Robinhood. And with Robinhood, they end up kind of like rounding down how much you spend. It's a little bit annoying, to be honest. But so from the $36.25, that ends up being, around $35.90 a day. I multiply that by 7 days a week. I end up spending about $250 a week stacking Ethereum. So that is where I get that number. And, really just why 40 for Bitcoin. I just, want to be a little bit more exposed to Bitcoin. And so I have been maintaining that. But yeah, let's kind of consider these levels. So the 3,200, why do I have that there? And so 3,200, that's, I guess, really just shy, just a little bit lower than this 382 here at 3,245, thinking that maybe we would pierce that. But now from this retracement, we have been putting in a higher high, as the high for today so far for August 9th is, let's see, $4,247.05 is what it looks like from the data on Coinbase. And so I can just, move that up a little bit. And so maybe that dip buy level is, 3,400 or 3,500 maybe, let's say, because we do have, let's see, $3,432.08, just being approximate, but that was pierced over here. And so maybe what I want to do, that's the 382. Maybe what I want to do is add the 236, and I'm going to make that one purple, just to kind of keep the rainbow theme, that gradient. And so the 236 there, that's around 37.42. But maybe we round that up to 38. I was thinking that Ethereum will probably be retesting, kind of like this level that it's broken out from. And yeah, and actually, if we do take a step back, we can see, there's this bigger trend line. And I'll just add that, just kind of casually over here from the highs over here. And so, yeah, didn't really get to it over here. And that's, oh, maybe I want to do it from here. So this will probably be a better way to do that. And yeah, what we can see is that there has been this trend line. Maybe what I even want to do is just do it like that. Yep, I think that's actually good. There's kind of this blow off top here. Makes sense. That was at the end of 2021. That was the, the blow off top. So it makes sense that we broke above that level, and we can see that we are above that now. But what I could see, what I think might be happening, is because we've broken out from it, just like over here, pull back and retest, this failed and broke down. And so what I think could be happening with Ethereum is we could get a retest of that level, and that would be, I was thinking just sub 4,000, like 3,900, but maybe 3,800 would be good, kind of with that little trend line, that casual trend line, also with the 236 here. So I could see this doing something like that. Oh, I screwed up that arrow. Up and to the right, I guess. I don't usually use the arrow that much, but yeah, maybe come back, pull back to that level. That would be around. That's just a little. It's right around 3,800. So I think the dip buy level for Ethereum, and again, not to be super aggressive with or anything, but around 3,800. So what I'm going to do is adjust this to 3,800. That is one that I need to place, so I'm going to make it yellow, and I need to adjust the alerts, and I need to adjust that order, so those will be yellow. And then so for over here, I was thinking about, how do I get more aggressive with that dip? I'll just incrementally, every week that it doesn't get filled, I'll just add $7 to it. So like not super crazy or anything, but yeah, so for now, it will just be an additional 7, and that is going to need to be yellow because I need to place that order. Yeah, so that's $14. Dip buy at 3,800. And yeah, but then I also, with Ethereum, wanted to go over kind of this comparison with Bitcoin from 2017. And so really, if I do take a step back, how did I get these levels? How did I come to this thesis? And, so part of it might be, from Eric Trump's tweet. I'm just going to move that out of the way for a little bit, just so we can have this bigger picture view. And that is really just because we had these confluence of levels, these two green lines right around 1,400 after having the fake out breakdown below this yellow trend line. And then 8,000 approximately being where this could end the year at. If I do adjust this, we can see on the y-axis, let's get that 8,000 up there. That would be by the end of the year, it could be up at 8,000. And so that is that red trend line based on these highs. And let's see. So what I wanted to do with this comparison with Bitcoin is go back in time, look at Bitcoin. Please ignore the doodles right there. But let's see, get this lined up here, going back in time. Maybe I want to do this on the weekly. I'm not sure. But over here, we can see Bitcoin in 2017. And this is kind of, what we want to be comparing with Ethereum. So this is 2017. And so right now we're at the beginning of August. And Bitcoin at this time was, let's see, trading around 3,000, shy of 3,000, right around 3,000. And then it ended the year at, let's see, 16, 17, 18. So what's 18 divided? So let's see, from 3,000 to over here, 18,000. So 3 times, is that 6? Okay, so that's, we could be seeing a 6x like we did with Bitcoin, but with Ethereum. And so for, basically, so I'm doing that from where the current price is, but we could also go back to what Bitcoin was, around Easter. So we'll do that in a second. But let's see, 6 times Ethereum's price is, 6 times 4,000, 24,000. So maybe that could be happening. I don't really know. But then if we do go back to, let's see, April, I don't know, whenever Easter was in 2017, Bitcoin was around 1,000. And so to go from 1,000 to, let's see, that high, I guess, was like 18, 19, something like that. So from one, that's like, let's just say an 18x. So if Ethereum was 1,400, and then we multiply that by 18, it was 1,400 around Easter, 25. So, those are kind of similar, like in the $20,000 range. And Tom Lee has talked about Ethereum. Initially, it was more like 10,000, then 15,000, and now saying around 16,000. And so I could see that happening this year. Believe it or not, I think that's kind of crazy. Maybe not this year, maybe the beginning of 2026. I think the cycles might be extended a little bit. But the thing I really wanted to do with this Bitcoin chart is just, let's see, just kind of look at this. Let's see. Just going to do, actually, how do I want to do this? I think I want to have an array. So I have these points as the pivot points, just being very casual with this. And so looking at this on the linear scale, this, we didn't predict the top over here. We had this blow off top. But if I switch this to the log scale, I've not done this before. Very curious to see what it's going to show us. So, I think that looks a little bit better. But yeah, that'd be like intersecting up here. It's around 12,000. Whereas over here on, it's around, So, but then we did come up much higher. So I think that looking at this on the log scale might be a better way to get an idea of where Ethereum could be going, because I had done my drawings based on the linear scale. So if we do come over to the Ethereum chart, I do have this trend line, the red trend line, that suggests by the end of the year around 8,000. But I can adjust this to be on the log scale, and then maybe we get a little bit of a different picture to see where this could be by the end of the year. And so let's just look at this. I'm just going to have to zoom out a little bit. Nope. time over here is not, it's not showing me the, why is it cutting off the time there? Let's see, where is, this is weird. I'm just gonna refresh this page. Reload site, yes. I don't know what's going on there, but okay, so this is December 26th. Going on the daily scale. Okay, I think I was just going too far into the future. Sorry about that. But let's just see. Okay, so this is like the end of the year over here. Where's that red line? So I'm just gonna adjust the axis here. And that actually intersects with the yellow line too, so that's pretty interesting. That's around September. But the red line, 19,000. That's where the cursor is right now, right around 20,000. So I'm actually wondering if Ethereum could be going to 20,000 by the end of this year. And I think that kind of matches with, the comparisons I was just doing with Bitcoin from 2017, just drawing the trend line a little bit, looking at the peaks from around 2017 for Bitcoin, extending those, whether on the log or linear scale. The log scale does suggest, a target that was more in line with what happened with Bitcoin back in 2017. So looking at the log scale, I wonder, could Ethereum be hitting 20,000 by the end of this year? We got this intersection by the end of September. I don't know that's going to happen by the end of September, but yeah, I mean, like looking at this chart, this is from 2017. This is linear. What did that do? From, over here, I guess kind of testing the top there. I mean, because Ethereum's kind of getting to that point, testing the tops, getting to new all-time highs soon. So that's a 231% move to the upside. And then, yeah, I mean, this is just kind of crazy. I think we're over here. I mean, a 200%, whatever, 200 whatever percent, that would be putting it at like 10,000. So, yeah, I mean, I just think that looking back at Bitcoin from 2017 and relating that to what's going on with Ethereum now, looking at this on the log scale, and I'll just show you in a second when I do switch this back to linear. At the log scale, 20,000 ballpark, so maybe 18,000, 16,000, rounding, that would be 20,000 if we're rounding by tens of thousands. And yeah, so I mean, I could see that, but then if I do switch this over to the linear scale, no way, that doesn't seem feasible. That doesn't seem reasonable. But I mean, that's what happened with Bitcoin. Like if this is on the linear scale, it was just going up in this kind of linear fashion. We got the linear scale and then it just went parabolic. And so it seems to me like Ethereum could be going parabolic, meeting that trend line. And maybe this is delayed because with Bitcoin 2017, it was testing this trend line, in October. And Ethereum, I mean, is not. So maybe it hits 8,000 by October, and then it starts to go parabolic, maybe up to 16,000, maybe up to 20,000. So yeah, I mean, I think that I've been too conservative with my price targets on Ethereum, not necessarily the 8,000, but I was thinking about starting to trim on a daily basis at 6,000. But maybe what I actually want to do is wait until 8,000 for that, because I think that this could be going to, like I said, 20,000, but also moving all the coins to sell, all of that at 20,000, that would be very difficult. So I think it's good to kind of like trim in and out of these positions. And yeah, so this is on the linear scale. I'm just going to get the axis back there. So I think Ethereum could be, let's say in the next year, because maybe the scales, the time frame is distorted a little bit, is extended a little bit because of Wall Street's involvement. I feel like Ethereum could be hitting ballpark 20,000 by the end of 20 by a year from now. I think that Ethereum could be hitting. So be by August of 2026. I think that Ethereum could be ballpark 20,000, and so that would be a range from around 15,000 to 24,000. So we'll have to see if that happens. We'll have to see if Eric Trump was right. If this was and still is a great time to be adding ETH, I feel like that's going to be the case. So yeah, really, really excited about that. And I am going to bring Ed back. Forgot that he was not with us on that one. But yeah, let's now get back to the list here to be thinking about this. So the weeklies for Ethereum, 38. And so this, nope, I'm going to have to say my trim level, my beginning trim level is... I mean, I didn't even look at that, but I don't even need to. Like, yeah, I mean, it could be 45. Okay, so trim, no, I don't think we're going to be topping at 4,500, but maybe it consolidates a little bit there before then moving to break out to new all-time highs. So yeah, I guess I'll leave the 4,500 there, but my target is 8,000 to 20,000. So in that range, I guess I'd be trimming. So, wow. I didn't think I thought that it would be lined up with like 10,000. I didn't think that the target would be that realistic, 20,000. I feel like that's feasible. So yeah, pretty crazy. I'm excited about that. And so this 72% up, that may be going way higher. So very excited about that. But anyways, enough rambling about Ethereum, my love. But yeah, now let's talk about my other love, Dogecoin, ticker symbol DOGE. And let's check out what the current market cap is for Doge. That is going to be ranked number 8 on the list here, just behind Ed, now above his head. That is Dogecoin ranked number 8. Copy and paste that market cap number to populate it over here. And so it looks like we've got a market cap just shy, a little bit shy of 36 billion. If we compare that to last week, that was shy of 30 billion. So looking better this week. And let's check out the price for Dogecoin. And so I'm going to come over here to look at the data in the US dollar, but looking at it from Binance, there's just more data there for us to look at. And so what we can see here, looking at this on the daily, just zooming in here from that bigger picture perspective on ETH. Now let's look at Doge. The closing price from August 8th was $22.99. So $22.99. And with that, it looks like for Doge, I am up about 32%. And I was, kind of debating last week on really kind of in coordination with buy of iExec or RLC, because if I were to buy $100 worth of RLC, that would then move up the list. Doge would move down. I want to keep Doge as number 3. And so that's kind of why I have these numbers as yellow. And so, I'm kind of thinking, I'll have to assess that when I look at RLC, but maybe since I wasn't so aggressive on my dip buys last week, maybe this is something that I, might want to do. And so we'll have to consider that. Did not get the dip buy fill for Dogecoin, $7, and that would be at, let's see, 1741, because I believe my average is, just a little bit above that. And I believe looking at the chart, there was a level there that, let's see, 1741. Yep, right here. I must have, did I lock that into place? I locked it into place. So that should be from the exact low to the exact high over here. And yeah, so I mean, that is possible. That would still be like a dip buy level. And so I'll probably just leave that, and I'll probably just leave it as like a $7 dip buy there. But what I might do, what I might want to assess and think about is, rather than doing 93 and after hitting that dip buy level, which I don't necessarily think is going to happen at this point, maybe I just do, you know, $100 buy just to add some. And then I could do the same with RLC. So then they would both be moving up on the list. Yeah, but I don't know that I want to do this. I need to make these numbers orange because I may not do this, but that's kind of what I'm considering, what I'm debating with myself. So I will make both of those orange. They are less likely for me to place. But yeah, so Dogecoin, I don't think 1741 is going to be hit. Especially, I mean, because here, you know, we broke above the 200-day moving average. We pulled back, broke below it, and now we're above it again. I suspect the next time we pull back to it, we'll be testing it as support and then going higher. So, you know, basically what I think could be happening is it does something like that. And my arrows always look bad. I actually draw arrows better by hand. But yeah, that would be coming down to like that 200-day moving average. Find it as support around 20 cents. So maybe what I want to do is, rather than do a dip buy at my average, recognize that that's probably not going to happen, but that 20 cents might happen again. And so I think that I should adjust that to 20 cents. And maybe that would be the level that if Doge does pull back, maybe we get some bad news or something, then maybe that would be where I'd want to add the RLC. But yeah, that seems pretty reasonable to me also, that, you know, 19 corresponding with that 618 there and the 200-day moving average. So I think that's pretty reasonable. But then if we do go to the upside, where are some levels that this could be bumping its head? 31 cents. That's going to be just kind of corresponding with the consolidation lows over here. Suspect that'd be acting as resistance again. So yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. I could, though, probably do, because it does look like we have hit the bottom here, I could do a Fibonacci extension to see where this could be taking us. I'm actually surprised I haven't drawn this up here, but that would be like the lows over here. I'm just going to extend it into the future, and now I can just take a step back. And so that would be around, yeah, 100% would be around 33. So, you know, hit 31, and then maybe 33 would be the next one. And this over here, I'm actually I'm just going to leave that one up there. Because that served as a nice level, 27, hit that. And so maybe what we could see is this hit 32. And then we got these other levels on there. And yep, so 33, but 31. I think that maybe we could bump our heads a little bit at 31. So I think that's a good level to trim a little, not sell a lot, trim a little. And yeah, I'm just going to have a little sip of coffee here before continuing on to the next one, which is going to be iExec, ticker symbol RLC. Probably the most speculative one that is on here based on my position size and all of that. But I'm trying to get my average down. I've been trying to get it down. I have got it down notably. Yeah, we'll have to see where the price takes us. But right now, let's first look at the market cap. Going to be the lowest on the list here for the ones that I'm watching. Ranked number 464, RLC has a market cap about 74. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong one. 74, I believe, $1 million. $74 million did go up from last week. And so last week is at 66, so it has gone up some. Let's check out the price of RLC. We got this scrolling down here. USD on Kraken. No, I thought I had looked at it on Coinbase. I believe this should be it. Yep. Well, look at all this crap that I got drawn on there. There's going to be another pop-up. Hopefully not. Let's see. The closing price from yesterday, August 8th, sorry, was $1 0.86 cents. So 1.0086. And so I'm down 40% on that. Last week, what was I down? 44. So not looking so great. My average is 168. Current price. Current price is a little bit higher. 103 about is where it's at. And yeah, I mean, what's the dip buy level that I was thinking about? 90 cents. I believe we actually got very close to that last week. I guess we pierced it. So on Saturday, so you know, when I was recording last week's video, the low was 89.22 cents. I didn't buy the dip on that just because I'm trying to be less aggressive because I am pretty exposed to RLC. We do have the 200-day moving average coming down here, so I am wondering if this could be breaking out since that's kind of why I want to be more aggressive, but I'm just trying to like dial that back a little bit. We have put in a higher low, as you can see, relative to this one, So stair-stepping our way up with higher lows. So I think that's looking good. And so that would mean that if we hit the low of 90 cents, I don't know that that would be hit again if we are to maintain higher lows. So I think I kind of need to reevaluate where that could be coming back to. So looking at this Fibonacci retracement, that is based on, you know, the low here to the high. We are above the 618, so that's really like right around $1. So maybe what I'd want to do is, maybe that's what I will do, is wait for like 99 cents. If that's pierced, you know, just get some below $1, and then I could, let's see, you know, add to that, and then it's like, okay, well, I added to my RLC, I need to add to my Doge to match that. And so I can place alerts on Coinbase. I just learned how to do that last week. I'm not doing like limit orders or anything with Coinbase. Just, you know, I don't use Coinbase too much just for these like alts, these shit coins, you know, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, so I'm not going to place an order there. But 99 cents, if it breaks below $1, I'll need to have an alert for that because I don't think it's going back to 90 cents. And then at that point, then I would, you know, do the Doge. Also, you know, $100 buy there. And, you know, but then to the upside, where could I see this going to the upside? I said 230. Let's see, 230. How do I get 230? That is from this Fibonacci extension. So going from the low here to the high, then to the lower low. And that puts price at like 230. That's the 786. So not the 100%, which would be around 270. But this is a trim level. This is not a sell all level. So around 230. I think that's fine. I'm going to leave that. And, you know, and with my average at 168, you know, if I'm able to add more at 99 cents, that's great. Then I get that average down a little bit more. But if I'm not, that's fine. I'm well exposed to RLC. And to be honest, I don't think it's a shitcoin. I do think that they have a lot of utility as far as privacy and AI and stuff like that goes. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess I'm biased. This is one that I bought back in 2021, a blow off top, and yep, I managed to get my average down, so feeling pretty good about it in that sense, but I am fairly well exposed to it. But anyways, I'm going to have some coffee and then move on to the next one, which is going to be Ethereum Classic, ticker symbol ETC. And so the market cap for Ethereum Classic is going to be like 38 or 33. We can see that right here, rank number 33. And just copy the market cap number there, paste it over here. We can see that it did go up over the past week. The market cap was around 3 billion last week. Now it's around 3.5 billion. And so let's check on the price of Ethereum Classic, US dollar on Coinbase. And so the closing price from Friday, August 8th, was $22.38. So $22.38. That's going to be right around my average. I think up 4%, so that's nice. My average looks like it's 21.62. And my dip buy level for it over the past week was $18. Let's see, what was the low? We did come down to that 200-day moving average. Looks very nice there. And the low, it looks like it was on Sunday, was $18.93. So I was a little bit off. I should have placed it at 19. But to be honest, 19 probably wouldn't have been filled. 1932, maybe that would have been, which is the 50% retracement there. But like, just like I was talking about with RLC, with Ethereum Classic, what we can see here is higher lows. I mean, higher lows here, but then we start to break down. Now it's not a higher low relative to this one, but it's a higher low relative to this one. Higher lows, higher lows. So that is looking good. And it's currently trading around 23.17. Where could it be pulling back to though, if it's not to be pulling back to 18 or 19 again? So if we look at this Fibonacci retracement, we can see goes up to the high here. So maybe it could be pulling back to the 382. That will be around 21. Also corresponding with this yellow line that I've marked here, corresponding with the tops over here as well. Some notable resistance, that Ethereum Classic could be coming back to, and that is 21. So I'm going to want to adjust my level here to 21, make that yellow. I have to do this over here. And then what would be the trim level? I'm probably just going to leave it at 28 because it didn't get hit last week. And so that is, I imagine, just that's assuming that it comes down to the 618. I don't really think it's going to come down to the 618. And that was also the 100% extension is around 29. But if I move this actually to the low that we hit, that would be more like 30. But I think I'm fine to just leave it at 28. This here would be around 29. Maybe it could be 30. But, just to, trim, not a big deal. I'll just leave it at 28. I think that's fine because, looking at this list, Ethereum Classic, one of the alts, it's pretty high up there, higher than Solana, Cardano, and let's see, XRP. So I feel like those are kind of big three ones. So having Ethereum Classic up there, maybe it's a little risky. But yeah, that's why. So I'd trim out there. Not super aggressive trim. 7 to maybe just one Ethereum Classic. I'm not sure. $7, something like that. But yeah, got a dip buy placed for that at, let's see. Wait a second. I need to actually, did I adjust the Doge dip? I did adjust the Doge dip, so I'm going to actually have to make this yellow over here. I need to adjust that. And then for Ethereum Classic, I need to make that yellow because I do need to adjust that as well. I need to place that. And yeah, so, but where could this be going to the upside? 28, yep, I've already done that. I've done that over here, so nothing too crazy. But, the thing that looks really nice about this chart, you guys might have noticed it, is that, moving up here, almost got to the 200-day moving average. Then over here, moved up to it, broke above, and then pulled back, bounced from it, and then going higher. So I think that this chart just looks really good. I feel fine about it. But I do think that, kind of trimming on a weekly basis or, whatever, in preparation for, if this does start to go parabolic, to be taking some profits. But yeah, that trim level, like I said, I'm just going to leave it at 28. But then now let's move on to the next one on the list, which is going to be Ondo, ticker symbol ONDO. So let's check out the market cap for Ondo, ranked at number 36, just below Ethereum Classic on this list. But there are a few coins in between them, 2 coins in between them. And yeah, so number 36, about $3.2 billion market cap. This is not Bitcoin. And so almost $3 billion last week. It was almost $8 billion. So has moved up nicely. And let's check out what the price was from yesterday on Friday, August 8th. Looking at this US dollar on Coinbase. So the closing price from yesterday was 102.092. So 102.092. Looks like I'm up 15% on this one. And something that's really exciting about Ondo, part of the reason why it's so high up on the list is because I wasn't able to, I'm not sure if I was initially able to purchase it on Coinbase. I initially started with Uphold, and then I started buying it on Coinbase because I feel like the fees are a little bit cheaper. But now it's listed on Robinhood. And so the reason why I was doing such a larger buys, why this has moved so high up on the list, which, is it a blessing, a curse, whatever. I feel like right now it's a blessing because I was able to add more aggressively, have a larger position now. But now I can trim out without it being large chunks because with Robinhood, I can do smaller orders. With Coinbase, I think the fees are just relatively too high to do small orders. And so, yeah, I can be trimming out let's see. What are the levels? Let's think about the levels for Ondo. So I said 84 cents was the dip buy level. That did not get hit. And then 138, which because now I don't have to be so aggressive with the trims, I can do them smaller. Maybe I, want to adjust these numbers. And so let's take a look over here at the chart. So 84, how did I get that? That was really like, let's see, the low from Saturday of last week was 84,405. So nearly hit, but not quite. So I didn't place that order as a result, which maybe I regret. But what we can see here, this is the retracement from the low to the high, pull back to nearly the 618, but now above or testing the 236. So maybe it would then pull back to and find some support around the 200-day moving average. You can see here, and that's currently corresponding with the 382 around 96 cents. And so the only issue with like adding at 96 cents is my average is 89 cents. I should have, been more aggressive last week with it. But, at the same time, the fact that I'm able to manage that, I'm not getting too greedy, I'm not FOMOing in, I think that's good. But if this does pull back, on the theme of like higher lows, a higher low could be still like 90 cents, but maybe not. So maybe 96 cents is one for me to consider. Maybe it goes lower than that. That's fine. Just to be building up a little bit more of a position. So I'm going to say 96 cents. And that could be a more casual dip buy, like $7 a dollar per day, $7 a week at 96 cents. That it's not $100. I'm not throwing a ton at it. And that's because it's on Robinhood, not Coinbase. Or I could be buying it on Robinhood as well as Coinbase. But then let's see what the trim level is, because I had previously had a trim level from the past of I believe 109. I didn't trim out there. It did hit a high over here on, it looks like July 22nd of 117, almost 116.97.1. And so maybe that, is a level I should trim some at, but at the same time, I think it'd probably go higher. So why not just be a little bit patient? And so this level, 138, because if it didn't come down to the 618 here, which is where I have this going from the low to the high, then down to the 618, it didn't come down to the 618. So if I move that up a little bit, it moves that target up a little bit. So I think 138 is fine. I think that's totally reasonable. It got a little tickle in my nose there. So yeah, 138, I think that's great. So 138, leave that alone. But then I am going to need to adjust the alerts, orders, all of that. And so the next one on the list is going to be Loopring, ticker symbol LRC. This is one I did add to last week. dip buy via Coinbase, and we'll have to check out the market cap. Maybe I want to do another dip buy this week, so we will have to evaluate that. And actually, one thing I just, what was I thinking about with Ondo? This, I don't need that to be a $100 order. Yeah, so it could be $7 because it's on Robinhood. But anyways, let's get back to it. Loopring, ticker symbol LRC. Like I said, I did dip buy last week, and maybe I want to add again. We'll have to evaluate that. But let's first look over at the market cap for Loopring. It's just above RLC, but this is ranked 330, and the market cap looks like it's $123 million. So paste that over here. And last week, the market cap was 108. Now it's 123 million. And we can check out the price of, let's see, LRC, Loopring coming down here, Coinbase US dollar. And the closing price for yesterday was, so that was August 8th. The closing price was 8.75 cents. So 8.75 cents. Looks like I'm down 14%. So yeah, I mean, I think this is another one that's probably good for me to add to it. So let's evaluate, what that level should be for LRC. I had it at 8 cents. It looks like I did buy. What was the low over the course of last week? And so looking at the low, apparently hit on Saturday. The low was 7.69 cents. And then the low on Sunday was 7.77 cents. So yeah, over last weekend I did add to that position, and now it's going higher. But we do have higher lows here. It does seem like we broke below that trend line, but maybe that's just a fake out break. Maybe we pull back to retest that as support. And so looking at this retracement, that does go up to the high from over here. And we did nearly get to the 786, but not quite. And that was at around 7.58 cents. So maybe we would pull back to like the 618, which is around 8.35 cents. And so, yeah, I mean, I could see that, but I could also see it just pulling back to like 8.89 cents. That would be the 50% retracement, finding that as support. Maybe that doesn't even happen. It's currently trading above 9 cents. So, yeah, I mean, but let's see, 8.89. So let's say 8.9. I'll put an alert at 8.9. If that goes off, then I think that's 8.9, then I think that's one for me to consider buying that dip. And so I need to adjust the alert there. What's the trim level though? What's the trim level for this? I have it at 15 cents here. That would be based on my average, actually, 15 cents. That would be a 50% profit for me when, initially my average for LRC was 19 cents when I started making these videos. And so just getting to 15 cents, that would be a nice win there. But I do think it could be going higher. So let's kind of take a look at that. How did I get to 15 cents? So that looks like it's from this Fibonacci extension going from the low here to the high, back down to the low. And so that's the 100% at around 12 cents. So maybe that would actually be a better level. But what I think might be a better way to kind of evaluate this, I do feel like things are potentially going to be taking off. So I don't want to be too aggressive with my trims on this, especially because I have to be doing it through Coinbase. So I have to do like larger orders. And so what I'm going to do is an extension from the low over here, which was like 6.59 cents, somewhere around there, up to this high and then down to this low. We have put in a higher low. I'm just going to extend this into the future. And so that 100% move would, be suggesting around 12 cents. So maybe I would want to trim there. And maybe I would also want to add the 1618 to this. That would be, around 15 cents. Pretty cool. Those kind of like line up right there. So, but I could see this doing something, like maybe it goes like this, pulls back, then goes up, then pulls back to wherever the 200-day moving average is, and then goes up like that. So, maybe I think that, this is a risky one. I think that 12 is probably, one that I should really consider trimming at. Although it did top here around 12, so 15. If I buy this week, I should make it 12, because then I'm going from about 9 cents to 12 cents is a 33% swing. And so I think that's totally reasonable. I'm definitely more exposed with LRC than I was initially planning. I was just planning on doing 100, and now I've got hundreds of dollars on it. So just trim at 12. And then I could, buy back on a pullback if I want. So I think that's good. I think it's reasonable. So now let's check out the next one on the list, which is going to be Solana, ticker symbol SOL. Did not buy the dip last week, did not trim, not too exciting, but I have moved, Trump around, which is on Solana. And I've also been adding to my PENGU position, which is also on Solana. And but anyways, let's check out the market cap for Solana. I believe it's like number 6. Yep, ranked number 6 here, just shy of $100 billion market cap at around $97 billion. And the price from Friday's close, August 8th, let's check that out. Solana, don't want the futures. I want to come down here to look at Solana USD on Coinbase. Okay, so the closing price on Friday, August 8th, was 176.84. So 176.84. Looks like I'm up 18% on it. So feeling good about that. And let's see, my dip by level was 151. So if I come over here, what was the low from last Saturday? The low was 155.75, so not quite. Did not quite get there, but it did bounce from that trend line. I was kind of suggesting it might. Also above the 200-day moving average now. And so with this retracement, I would think that the next level that it could be coming down to is around 164. That corresponding with the 382. We did break below that. Maybe I should round that up to like 165 or 169. Currently trading at 180. So 169. Gotta have fun with the levels. And so 169 for Solana, because I gotta have fun. And then the trim level, let's consider that. That is 217, what I have, and that is based on this Fibonacci extension. So going from the low, high, down to the low here, the 100% move is at 217. So I think that's a fine trim level. I can do it via Robinhood easily, so I can leave that alone. And don't really have too much more to say about Solana, but really, if I have anything to say about Solana, it's probably going to come from PENGU. I'm excited about that one, but that's going to be at the bottom, second to last on the list. And so now we will move on to Litecoin at ticker symbol LTC to check out the, actually, before I get on to that, Solana, I need to adjust the dip buy for that one. So that's yellow. I'm aware of that. Anyways, now the next one on the list is going to be Litecoin, ticker symbol LTC, and the market cap for Litecoin. Let's check that out. Litecoin is going to be ranked number 19 on the list here, as you can see, about $9.3 billion market cap. Paste that over. And from last week, actually, I don't know if I did a comparison with Solana. Did I do a comparison with Solana? Solana was 87 billion. Now it's 97 billion. Litecoin now 9.3 billion. And last week it was 8.1. So that's moved up quite a bit. And the price for Litecoin, let's check it out over here. Litecoin US dollars on Coinbase right here. So the closing price on Friday, August 8th, was 123.79. So 123.79. Looks like I'm up about 25% with that. So feeling good about that. You know, hey, feeling happy. I'm up. Not in all of them, but that one. So yeah, Litecoin, I was looking at $100 as the dip buy level. What was the low from last week? It looks like actually Friday was the low a week ago. That was at 103.09, so missed the $100 dip level. And we did put in a new high, so probably need to adjust this Fibonacci retracement up to there. And yep, hey, looking at that, you know, kind of from the past, we did test that 382, bounced. So maybe what I want to do with this is add the 236, just going to make that purple. And yeah, so that would then be like 114, whereas price is right now around 122. So maybe 114 is a level for me to add to my Litecoin. And so I'll make that yellow, make these yellow. And then I will also come back here so I don't forget, make this yellow as well so I know I need to adjust that. But then, yeah, the trim level for Litecoin, I have it at 133. Where do I get that? Looks like, you know, it's just this yellow line, so not a Fibonacci retracement or extension or anything like that. Really just corresponding with like the consolidation highs over here around 132.77, which was probably, you know, pivot high right here before it fell off a cliff. You know, that was, what was that cliff dive drop? That was, looks like around 69.85% down. And then, you know, did test it over here, hung out there, opportunity to get out before pulling back again from here, came down to, you know, around 52% down. And so that might be some resistance again. But I do have, you know, the 100% Fibonacci extension. That's around 120. We're currently above that at 122. So I think I've already trimmed when it was over here, then it's pulled back, and then so the next level that I want to trim at is 133. I'm going to leave that alone. If I were to, you know, extend this Fibonacci retracement to beyond the 100% to the 1.618 or the 1.1618, that would be at around 146.47. But I'll first trim at 133. I think that's a good level. Makes a lot of sense to me. So, yep, I've got that placed there. And now let's go on to Cardano, ticker symbol ADA. And let's check out the market cap for Cardano, ranked number 10 in the list, $28.6 billion market cap. And that, of course, did go up over the past week, now at 28,629. Last week it was at about just shy of $25 billion. So has gone up by over $3 billion. It's a lot of money. And the price, let's check that out. So going over here to check out the price from Friday's close. That's August 8th. And the closing price was $79.12. Right there, up 14%. Not huge, but it's something. And, you know, let's consider the trim levels, or the add level, sorry, 68. Why did I make that 69? That seems like a missed opportunity. But I think I just didn't want to get too aggressive with it. What was the low though? So the low for Saturday was 68.41. Maybe I would have gotten to fill at 69 cents. Dang it. But I think I was just trying to be disciplined with the 618 that I have drawn here at 67.24, 68 rounding that up. And that did not happen. And so now, I mean, this retracement still going up to the high over here. So that's legit, still good. Maybe it could be pulling back to like be putting in higher lows, pulling back to around that 200-day moving average, which is also right around the 50% retracement, around 72. But then let's round that up to 73. So maybe 73, which let's see, is above my average, which is 69 cents. So what was I saying? That's 73 is the level that I want to. 73 cents. So I'll make that yellow. And I do need to replace those orders. And so since I did adjust the buy, make this yellow so I don't forget, need to adjust that. And then let's come back over here. So my trim level was $1. That did not get hit. That did not get filled. Do I still think that is a good level to be trimming at? So over here, I think I already trimmed at the 86 at 86 cents. That's around the 100% extension, which is really just kind of like a double top here because, it did pull back to, hit this double bottom. So 100% will bring it back up to that price, go through that level, pull back, then go higher. And so what might be nice for me to do, I guess I did this last week, but that was really based on like the 618. But, just being conservative, I moved that up a little bit. It's at like 110, 111 almost. Or I could just, right around 110, or just, the psychological level, $1. Not a huge trim, but a little trim right around there. I think that's good. So I'm going to leave that alone. And so everything looks good over here. But the next one on the list is actually not going to be Pepe. It's going to be Trump. So I'm just going to reorder those. And I'll just take another sip of coffee. Might have a sip of water as well, just to make sure I stay hydrated as well as caffeinated. And so the next one on the list is going to be the official Trump coin, ticker symbol TRUMP. This is one I did add to my position last week. My dip level did get hit. But before we do get to that, let's first go over to the market cap. This one's also going to be fairly low on the list, I believe. Ranked number 54, so it is in the top 100. But it is still shy of $2 billion, which is, I keep going over those contracts. And so let's see over here. That is shy of $2 billion. But it's pretty close, $1.9 billion. And if we compare that with last week where Trump was at, really? That's insane. I'm wondering if that's a typo. But I don't think it was. Price was that's insane. That's like doubled. More than doubled. I don't know that that's correct, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I could probably look at the chart over the past week. Let's see, market cap. So last week, what was it, on the 2nd? This is this is price. I want market cap. That number must be wrong. A week ago. Yeah. I screwed that up somehow. So, oh well. Oh man. There we go. Okay, cool. Anyways, let's check out the price. The price of, it did go up, but I had the number wrong last week. So, let's check out Trump over here. This is going to be on Coinbase. And let's see, what was the closing price from yesterday? Closing price, August 8th, was 9.39. I'm going to be down on this one, down 21%. So that's why, I added. And my ad level was $8.69. You're trying to have fun with those numbers. And yeah, it looks like my average is 11.85. What are we currently trading at? 9.54. Yeah. So, we'll have to see how do I want to revise this dip buy level, 8.69. So, you could see this very nice trend line that we have here, bounce from that. If we were to retrace to that, return to that level, where might that be? We did from this Fibonacci retracement. It just goes up to here, the top. We did break below the 786. And so maybe we'd return to the 786, and that would be around 908, approximately. So maybe I just want to do like 910. 908. I don't need to be super aggressive with this or anything. But yeah, I'll just round that up. 910. 910, I think that's reasonable. So 910 there. Need to place that order. And I need to make this yellow here because I do need to place that order. And yeah, and then so the trim level, $17. Is that still where I think this could be going? Let's see. So 17 bucks based on this Fibonacci extension going from the low here to the high and then down to, yep, the low over here. So the 100%, 1760. So I think 17 is still fine. And also thinking about this, this is the president of the United States having this coin launched, at his like crypto ball at price of like 43, 44 bucks. I don't think he did it to rug all these people. They recognize it's an investment. Turbulent times, whatever. So 17, is that me being greedy? No, I think that's actually being very conservative because I do think that this will go up to 44 again. I think it's going to go to new all-time highs. But just to be managing that risk, taking some off the table, to be then funding, other dip buys or other daily dollar cost averages. 17, I think that's a fine level. So I'm just going to leave that there. And yeah, I can then go to, let's see, the next one. All right. There's a plane going by, so I might wait to stop to start the next one. Have some coffee. And okay. All right, so the next one on the list is going to be Pepe, ticker symbol PEPE. And we can see that I did not add to this, although my level was hit. We will find out about that in a second, but let's first go over to the market cap for Pepe, ranked number 26 at about $5.1 billion market cap. And now let's check out the price. Oh, actually, the only reason why I check last week's typically is just to compare the market cap. So Pepe was 5.1 billion. It's kind of crazy that Pepe is more than Trump. Yeah, 5.166. Last week Pepe was 4.3, so it's gone up by about $1 billion. This, unfortunately, that's wrong there. Yep, so the price for Pepe, the closing price from Friday, August 8th, let's see, Pepe US dollar on Coinbase. The closing price from yesterday was 10.97. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 10.97. And so that did go up from last week. Not surprised. But, what was my dip buy level for Pepe? It was 4 zeros and a 1. That was for sure hit. I got multiple alerts on it, but my order just wasn't filled because of the dang spread. So Saturday, last week, the low was 5 zeros, 986. Order wasn't filled. But then following that, we did get some lows on the 6th. On Wednesday, the low of 5 zeros, 996. order wasn't filled, so I didn't buy the dip. But cool, looking at the chart here, seeing this 200-day moving average coming down, broke above it, pulled back, and bounced. So that looks super nice. I really like that. Really glad I started putting the 200-day moving averages on these charts because I think it's really useful. And yeah, I mean, we did bounce from there, and that was around 4 zeros and a 1 whatever. And so maybe what I want to do with current price around 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3. Maybe it pulls back to, and actually I just want to make sure this Fibonacci retracement is lined up. And so that is, the 50%, that is 4 zeros, 1079, maybe round that up to 4 zeros and a 1, 1. And so that might be the dip by level rather than 4 zeros and a 1, 0. I'll do 4 zeros and a 1, 1. Oops. And so I need to adjust that and do that. And then before I get on to, where I might trim, just got to adjust this over here. So I know I need to adjust my dip by level. But yeah, so the trim level, I have it at 4 zeros and a 1, 9. Is that still good? Do I still like that? And so that is going to be based on this extension, the low of March 11th. So it was a lower low in March than it was in April. Got a higher low there. So that's kind of, maybe there's something changing there. The no longer putting in lower lows, starting to put in higher lows. And actually maybe I couldn't do a trend line here. A little bit, yeah. Something there, maybe. Support, bouncing from it, coinciding with that 200-day moving average. But yeah, I mean, let's just look at this 100% extension. So from the low to the high, back down to the low over here, just extended forward a little bit. That is 1940. So yeah, I think 19, 4 zeros and a 19. I think that's good for Pepe. And then the next one on the list, not going to be Aave. So I'm just going to reorder these here. And then we'll go to the next one on the list, which is going to be Chainlink, ticker symbol LINK. This actually had a pretty interesting announcement. I'll try to include some links to them in the description of this one. And so I'm just going to go to YouTube. And just so I have it pulled up here, going to go to some of my subscriptions. Some of it might be crap, so I apologize about that. And let's see. I think I just want to go to the Wolf of Wall Street. He had this nice, right here, Chainlink to go parabolic, the launch of the Link Reserve, I believe, or the, what is the title of this? The launch of the Link Reserve. Sergey Nazarov, co-founder of Link. He's been pretty involved in Washington. So yeah, I'll include a link to that video in the description of this one so you can learn more about that. But so yeah, Link, I imagine market cap will have gone up, price will have gone up, performing pretty well. And that's pretty cool. I'm glad to say that I did buy a little bit of a pullback that we saw before it started to move. But yeah, anyways, let's take a look at the Link market cap, ranked as number 12, $14.4 billion market cap, which I imagine went up notably from last week. So $14.4 billion, whereas last week Link was $10.7 billion. So up nearly $4 billion. Let's check out the current price of Chainlink, or not the current price as of close on August 8th, just to keep it, standard. So August 8th, the close was 19,894. So 19,894. And it looks like my average is 1848, so I'm up about 8%. Glad I bought the dip. And so I am going to need to adjust that. So I'm going to make that yellow. My dip by level for Link was 1569. Got to have fun with those 69s. And let's see, what was the low from last week? So last Saturday, a week ago, the low was 1543. And so, yeah, I think after recording the video from last week, basically I placed the order and it was filled right away. And I think same with Trump as well. And so this has gone up from last week's video, around there. It's gone up 36%, currently trading around 2137. It was like 357. I don't know, whatever number I was saying, it's around 2137. And yep, just going up there, putting in a higher high, higher lows. So looking good, bouncing off that 200-day moving average. So looking really nice. Where could I see this pulling back to? To be honest, we did get to a higher high, so I've got to move this up more. But I'm going to have to move it up more next week, so it's probably going to be invalid, whatever it is. But really, if it were to pull back, the level that stands out to me is just going to be like the consolidation highs over here, around 1740. And so we can see, multiple attempts to get above that level, multiple opportunities to trim there before pulling back. Also, that corresponding with the 200-day moving average, which, like I said, we are now above, having bounced from that. And that level, does have some history over here trading around that level. So let's see, maybe I want to have some fun with it. 1769, let's see over here, 17, yeah. So I might actually just move this to, what was the low over here? Low over here, 1789. Yep, I'm actually not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it there, but I'll round it up to 1769. I think that's a good add level for that. And that is also, I believe, if I just check in 1 second, I believe that's below my average. So yeah, that seems like a good level to add at 1769. Have fun with it, but not be so greedy that it goes down all the way down to like 1740. But then the trim level, let's see, 23. We're right around 2139. I think that 23, that could be getting hit, but maybe what I want to do, 23, that's fine. That's based on this extension, but that's the 1618. And so what do I have here though? This is, I'll just leave it 23. It's going to be a small trim. It's probably going to go past it, whatever. I'll wait for the next trim higher up. But yeah, that could be adjusted too, in my view. 24. So do I want to adjust that? No, it's $1. It's not a huge difference. 23, chill. Don't want to be greedy. Maybe it goes up to there. Maybe it almost gets to 24, but doesn't and then gets rejected. So I'll leave that at 23. I'm fine with it, even though I could probably bump it up to 24. I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to leave it. Less work for me if I do leave it. So don't want to be working too hard over here. And the next one on the list is going to be Aave, ticker symbol AAVE. And the market cap for Aave is going to be ranked number 31 on the list here, $4.6 billion market cap. Let's see, did that go up over the course of the past week? I think it did. Let's just check real quick. Aave was $3.8 billion. Now it's 4.6, so almost a whole $1 billion, almost a quarter market cap increase, or about a quarter. So that's pretty nice. And let's just check out the price for, let's see, Aave. Coming down here, US dollar on Coinbase. The closing price for Friday, August 8th, 290.98. So 290.98. Put that in there. Looks like I'm up about 7%. Let's see. What was my dip buy level? 236.90. What was the low? The low was 245, 0 cents. So I missed that. And, we did kind of fake out break below the 200-day moving average, and we almost got back to it, but then bounced again. We did put in a higher high here relative to over here, but we have not yet broken above the higher high here. So I probably don't have to adjust this retracement, but I'm just going to drag it forward into the future. You know, the 382 at around 252 would have been the level to add at. And so, I mean, with this bullish stuff taken off, maybe like 284. I mean, we did, you know, dip below over here, the 382 at like 252. Hit a low of 245. So if the 236 is at 285, maybe we break below that a little bit and maybe like 280, right around there. Maybe that would be the level to add at. So I had it 236. I think I'm going to need to adjust that to, what was I saying, 280. Let's see, what's my average? So I'd be getting my average up. I shouldn't have been so greedy when I was negative. But I mean, that's kind of how this goes. You know, when it's like you're negative, you're a little more conservative. When you're green, you're a little more aggressive. But yeah, 280 seems reasonable to me. You know, it's $7, so it's nothing huge. Place that. And so just going to go over here. I need to adjust that dip buy. So adjusting that there. But then, you know, what's the trim level? I have it at 380. And so do I still think 380 or do I want to adjust that? So 380 seems like there's a confluence of levels there. Do you have the Fibonacci extension coming down to here? I can just extend that forward to the future a little bit, matching up with the low here. And that's around 380. Also matching up with kind of the consolidation highs here around 383.59 approximately. So yeah, 380, I think that's a good trim level. So I'm going to leave that one alone. And then moving on to the next one on the list, that's going to be Uniswap, ticker symbol UNI. And let's check out the market cap for Uni. And it's ranked number 23 at a market cap of around $6.8 billion. And paste that over here. 6.8 billion. What was it last week? Uniswap was 5.57. Now it's 6.8. So over $1 billion increase in market cap. Let's check out the price of Uniswap from Friday's close. US dollar on Coinbase. And so the close from yesterday was 10.856. So 10.856. Looks like I'm up 7% on that one. Didn't get my dip buy filled, which was at $8.42. We can see the low over here from Saturday last week. 8.683 was the low, so I missed that. No big deal. Still, you know, I'm not going to be putting in a higher, we're not putting in a higher high just yet. Does look like that could be a little bit of a topping signal, you know, big wick to the upside, and then, you know, pullback, but, you know, the day is young. So maybe it does continue to go higher. Maybe we do put in a higher high, but as of right now, we have not. So I can still rely on this Fibonacci retracement. And I would say like $10 seems like the level here. That was apparently a trim level. And, you know, what's my average? My average is 10.14. But yeah, I mean, on a pullback to around 10, could be testing that orange line there. Also, you know, the highs over here around 10. So I think that's pretty reasonable for that to be a dip buy. So I'm just going to adjust that, make it yellow. I do need to adjust my level here. And so that's just going to be around 10. I missed the sub 9. And I'm going to have to adjust this. But then what's the trim level? I have it at 1250. That's going to be corresponding with this 1618 here. And that is really like, I mean, I could, you know, do some from the low here to the here and then back, but I'll just leave it. Oh, actually, I guess I've done that. Oh, that would be to Yeah, 13, 14. I'll need to adjust those later, but like 1250, we haven't gotten there, so I'll just leave it. But that's really like the 1618 Fibonacci extension from this. But yeah, I mean, I could do, this. I then want to adjust that too. That would be around 14. And so, yeah, I mean, I'll adjust that 100% extension from the low here to the high here and then back down to here. That would be around 14, but I'll place that order, that limit trim next week if 1250 or 1260 is hit. So yeah, I'm fine to just leave that as is. And then the next one on the list is going to be Avalanche, ticker symbol AVAX. Let's check out the market cap for Avalanche, ranked at number 17, market cap of $10.2 billion. Hopefully that copied. And yep. All right. And 10.23. That is, yep. Oh, the next thing, I'm drawing a blank. The next thing I need to do is the closing price from yesterday. So from August 8th, Avalanche. Don't want the market cap, want the US dollar, but not on Coinbase. So over here. So let's check that out. And so the closing price from yesterday, August 8th, was $23.80. So put that in here. Looks like I'm up about 6% now on that. So waxing and waning around my average. I suspect maybe next Saturday I'll be in the red again on a lot of these. But yeah, I mean, what was the ad level? 2042. And let's see, now at 2415. And so I don't know that Avalanche 2042. Having some fun with that. The low, so on Sunday, was 2057, just missed the bottom there. So I don't know that it would be coming down to that, but maybe it would be coming back down to like this 50% retracement based on the high over here. That's around 2152, or maybe the 200-day moving average, which is around 2209. So maybe like 22 is a good level to add at. My average is above 22. So yeah, I think I want to adjust that dip by level to 22. And so do that over here for Avalanche. Make that yellow. And oops. I'm going to have to do that. But then the trim level, 31. Do I still think 31? Let's see. I've got this, which is the extension from here to here. And I feel like I did trim. So like the high on July 28th was 2739. I think I miraculously did get a trim there at 27. So the next level is going to be from this extension, bottom here, top, pullback, extension up is around 31 or 32. So I think 31 is still a good trim level for Avalanche. So I'm just going to leave that one alone and then move to the next one on the list. But I'm just going to have another sip of coffee and a sip of water. So I am staying caffeinated and hydrated. Sorry if you heard the slurps. Last year, I grew a mustache, and I think from that I got in the habit of like slurping up beverages so they wouldn't get in my mustache. I'd slurp them up to avoid the mustache, but I don't have a mustache, but I have a bad habit of slurping now. But anyways, enough of that. Let's talk about XRP, ticker symbol XRP. Let's check out the market cap. I think it's ranked number 6. I might be, no, 3. Solana and XRP confused. So XRP ranked number 3. Although I think if we put stable coins on there, Tether USDT would be above XRP, but maybe that's changed. I'm not sure. But anyways, the market cap is $195 billion. And we can see that from last week. Looks like the market cap did go up from $167 billion to now $195. And we can check out the price from close on Friday. And so that, let's see, close on Friday. Avalanche. No, I want XRP. So going to be not futures. I want the US dollar on Coinbase. Closing price was 32863. So 32863. Looks like I'm up about 40% on that. So feeling good. And yep, my dip by level is 265, which is above my average. But maybe I actually do want to adjust that because, let's see, the low from last week, so on Sunday, was 272.73. So it looks like I missed that opportunity to add. And so this retracement up to the highs here, the 382 would be around 288. Currently trading around 228. Maybe it pulls back to around 288, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it pulls back to 3 and find some support there. I'm not sure. So, I mean, do I want to make my dip buy level at 3 or 290? I think probably 3, in all honesty. I don't necessarily think that would get hit, but I do need to adjust this. But, this is pretty low on my list, my risk list. So I, to more aggressively move it up, my average is 234. I don't think it's going back below that. So I can be a little bit more aggressive with this buy. And so I'm just going to do it at $3. I think that's totally cool. Especially if I do get a trim here at 369. Do I still think 369? Unfortunately, like the highs over here, I think it was like 366. High was 366.62. And so I didn't get a fill of that trim. But maybe now I will. So fine to add back more aggressively if it comes down to $3. But yeah, I mean, that'd be getting to like new all-time highs of 369. I'd be happy to just trim there, no big deal. So I'll leave that alone, but be a little bit more aggressive on that addition. And so now we'll be moving on to the next one on the list, which is going to be Stellar Lumens, ticker symbol XLM. Did not add last week, did not trim last week, but let's check out the market cap before I get into the chart. XLM is ranked Stellar over here, number 13 on the list, about $14 billion market cap. So just copy that over here to see where that went last week. So last week it was at XLM right here, around just shy of below 12 billion market cap at 11.4 billion, and now it's at 14. So that's gone up a lot, billions of dollars over the past week. And if we check out the price from yesterday's close, don't want the futures, want the US dollar on Coinbase. And so the closing price from yesterday, August 8th, was 45.0049. So 45.0049. Does look like I am up about 25% on my position. And let's see, my average is 36 cents. I have been trimming, that's why it's so low, but I did not trim last week. And so my ad level was 35 cents below my average. I suspect I am going to want to adjust that. And so let's see where I might be adjusting that to. I said ad levels 35 cents. To be honest, I probably want to make it like, currently at 45, so maybe not. But like the 382 here, we did pull back to the 50%, the green line there, hitting the low on Sunday, August 3rd. So this past Sunday, the low was 36.12. So I missed the low at 35. Which was my order. And so maybe we would pull back to the 382, which is around 40 cents. And yeah, do I want to do it at 40 cents or do I want to do it at 42? Having some fun with it. What's my average? My average is 36. I think that I could probably adjust it to have some, well, I don't know, because we got the highs here. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know that, I mean, 40, debating with myself. Do I want it to be at 42, like 420, or 40? I don't know that this would, let's add the 236, make it purple. If it's around 420, then that's a sign. It's actually around what we're currently at. So, I mean, yeah. Do I want to add? I personally, I don't really like XLM. It's like a little bit more difficult to move, but maybe that's also good, giving me more exposure to like the crypto space and learning more about these other chains, these other ecosystems. And so 42. No, I mean, I think that it's kind of fine, to be honest, for me to like maybe phase out. So, you know, if I adjust that up to 0.4, I think that's fine. If it doesn't get filled, that's fine. I am just, you know, keeping myself in a safe space, not being too risky. You know, I got 20 tokens on here, 20 coins. So, you know, maybe that's fine. 40 cents, the dip buy level. But then what's the trim level? I have it marked as 56 cents. What's that based on? It looks like a number of things. I got kind of like consolidation highs over here around 56. Also with the, is that the 2618 extension from the low here to the high, back down to the low around 56. So that seems fine. But then I could also do it if I was thinking if it's based on the pullback to the 200-day moving average, which is not happening. We just pull back to the 50%, which that would put the price up to around 67 cents. So I think there's a lot higher to go. And so, yeah, maybe I do want to adjust that to 66 or so. But trim 56, I think that's fine. I think I hit the save button, but it's not popping up to save that. So that's good. I want to save over here, and that has been saved. So XLM 56 cents trim. And, yep, and then add at 40 cents. Okay, and then so now getting into some more fun ones. So Pudgy Penguins, I was waiting for a dip buy at 3 cents. That did not get hit. And so right before starting this video, an hour before, I just did a $7 dip buy, which is effectively at my average. I didn't take advantage of the you know, dips throughout the week, which is unfortunate. But yeah, let's look over at the market cap. Don't want to get ahead of myself. Pudgy Penguins ranked number 43 above the president's coin. So Pudgy Penguins having some fun there. Market cap around 2.3 trillion, almost 2.4 trillion dollars. And so let's see, we do get a comparison now that this has been on the list here for multiple weeks. So last week it was about $2 billion, billion, not trillion, only Bitcoin. But now it's 2.4 billion, just about. And let's check out the price for Pudgy Penguins, PENGU, and Coinbase US dollar. Closing price from yesterday, Friday, August 8th, was at 3.776 cents. So 3.776 cents. Looks like I'm down about 3%, but I, as of right now, might be above my, you know, average because, you know, it's going up some. Actually, it looks like it might be pulling back some. Maybe it does something like, you know, this. And yeah, so we'll see about that. But, you know, kind of the mistake I made last week, I should have just done a dollar daily DCA. I didn't do that. I kind of regret it because I could have been getting these dips. Even if it goes higher, even if this doesn't do what I'm suggesting here, maybe it just does, maybe it just does that, you know, and it goes above my average. Maybe it does that, maybe it doesn't. It doesn't matter. My position's so small, dollar daily DCAs, totally fine, but I like PENGU. And actually, I did post it to the channel. I'll pull it up, and I will, let's see, DGen Ed, the channel here, posts. I did post this. I will include a link so you guys can check it out. Oh, 3 votes. Sorry, guys. I only saw 1 vote, and so maybe I'll stream tonight. I'll think about that. But yeah, to be honest, I end up getting, by the end of the day, I tend to be a little cloudy in the head, a little maybe intoxicated. And so streaming is not always the best for me, but maybe I'll be clear-headed tonight. And so maybe we could do a stream. But yeah, I'll include a link to this video from Crypto Banter. I like Pudgy Penguins. You'll learn a little bit more about the leader of that, coming from an NFT, and just really being like a brand as a meme coin. I think that it's a very interesting project. I like it, and it's fun and it's cute, and so might as well. And so yeah, I mean, so for me, my dip by level, I don't know. To be honest, I'm just going to be doing daily DCAs. But not too exciting. I'm just going to do $1 daily DCAs, and that's already placed. I've already decided on that, just to be accumulating a small position, but not being so aggressive that I get overwhelmed with it. And I kind of start to reevaluate that more when this starts to overtake some of these other coins that are up here. But still, it's pretty low on the list, so I want to be adding more to that, being a little bit more aggressive. And so my dip by level was 3 cents. That was very clearly not hit. And so I need to adjust that. What do I need to adjust that to? Let's look at the chart to get an idea on that. And so let's see, this does go up to the highs here. And so actually, 3 cents. If this goes down to 3 cents, I think it'd be a total steal. But maybe it doesn't get all the way down there. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave it at 3 cents and a trim, which would be a very small trim at 5 cents. That has never been up to 5. And how did I get 5 cents? You can see it very off in the distance up here. Let's see. Moving up here. And that was suggesting that it retraces to down here. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just comes down to like 3 cents. And that would suggest a price of around 6 or 7 cents. But I don't need to be getting ahead of myself. So just 5 cents, I think that's fine to just do a little trim. In all honesty, it would just be a $1 trim, not a $7 trim. Nothing like that. So yeah, I think that for PENGU, I think that what I should do for this is not only have the $1 level here, but also do, a $7 dip buy, and then also that $1 daily DCA. And so the $1 daily DCA, that is placed. The dip buy is not, so I do need to place it there. But just because, I want to be building up a PENGU position because I like them. I think they're fun. I think that they've got a lot of utility, and they're not just like stupid. Like the next one on the list is stupid, but I think that, I've been kind of spot on with some levels with Fartcoin, ticker symbol Fartcoin. So I wanted to go over that. But let's first go over the market cap of Fartcoin over here, ranked number 76 on the list, over $1 billion market cap, pretty crazy. But Fartcoin, it's not a shit coin. It's not even a shark coin. Once it squeezes a lot, then it becomes a shark coin. And good to trim, take some profits there. But I personally don't have a position in it. Multiple levels that I have waited for have not been hit. I almost did Fartcoin. And so let's see. I think this one I do on Kraken. Yep, those are the levels that I have. And so, before I get into levels, Let's just talk about the close from yesterday. So August 5th, the close was at $1.546. So $1.546. Is that right? Just making sure. Yep. And so that did go up from last week. Last week it was around 91 cents. Now, and also compare the market cap, sub 2 billion. And now it's, above $1 billion market cap. Don't have a position. Was considering getting, $100 worth of it. But that is if it comes down to 80 cents. And so last week it came down to a low. August 1st, it looks like, which is Friday. The low was 87.08 cents. But yeah, I mean, I really just kind of want to be honest, I don't think 80 cents is going to be hit, because if it does get hit, this is something I drew up for myself but deleted because I wanted to draw for you guys. Something that I noticed is trend line here. We kind of broke below it. So maybe it looks a little bit bearish in my view. Maybe it could be coming up like that and then coming down to around 80 cents. And then if the markets really do start to go higher, then that could be good. So, I'm just going to be waiting. I would, if it comes down to 80 cents, just to have fun with it, not investment advice, not an investment decision for myself, just having fun. That's a part of the crypto space, is just having fun. Stupid things like fart coins that are not shit coins by definition, by name, unless it squeezes. And where would it squeeze to? Again, just having fun with the numbers. I have the 786 right here. So this is from the low to the high here, then coming down to around 80 cents. If I do adjust this, the 100% is around 222, like that. But if we're having fun here, 222 is not the level to trim at. The level to trim at is 420. And that for me, I don't know why it's red. I mean, because I don't have a position. But that shouldn't be red. That should be black, because if I did get a position at 80, I would trim at 420. I would exit at 420, and that would just be for fun. Or not exit, I'd probably trim. I'd probably leave a little bit just, for fun. And so PENGU, I do need to adjust that. And alerts for PENGU, actually, I don't think I need to do anything with alerts there, but I do need to place an order. And for Fartcoin, I just leave it the same. I already have alerts placed. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my overview of all of this stuff here. If we look at the percent P&L for myself, I do have the zero line here. I do still have, it looks like 4 that I'm still in the red on. So one is going to be Loopring or LRC, since I have been adding, that has gone up. I might add again this week if it does pull back a little bit. So that's kind of exciting. We also do have Trump coin here. Maybe that was a bad investment decision, but my thesis is, Trump would not rug all of those people. It's just, an investment, and it's an opportunity now while it's low. And also there's just such a strong community of people that love Trump, while on the other side, there's also people with TDS. There are people with TLS, Trump love syndrome. And so I think that community, those people that fully support, whether it's the president or the brand, the Trump brand, that I think that's probably going to be going higher. Also do have Pepe down here. Unfortunately, that's been kind of a dud, especially as far as these meme coins. Trump and Pepe are not so great down there. PENGU I don't have on the list here. I'm not going to add it just because I'm lazy. And then do have RLC down here, which I'm down, 40% on that. So it's kind of like comparing with past weeks and stuff. We can see that a lot of them were negative or break even last week that now are positive. And going up. And so this is, even though I am still buying Ethereum above 4,000 now, I am now up more in my position than I have ever been. The highest in the past was 65%. Now I'm at 72% up. And so I imagine, especially if ETH does continue to go higher, that percentage will continue to go up. Even if I'm daily dollar cost averaging, still it's going to be going up. But even if not, this comes back to 50%, that's still a good trade, So, yeah, feeling good about that. But I am going to come back here to end on this with Ed here to join me. If you did like this kind of content, me just sharing my thoughts, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, doing Crypto Corner Stacker every single Saturday. And for this video, I might be releasing some clips from it. If you do enjoy those clips, make sure you subscribe. Encourage me to be putting out more of this content, releasing clips from these videos. But anyways, that's enough. It's about a 2-hour video, and I'm going to get on with my day, and hopefully you guys enjoy your weekends. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.